Morning, gang. It's Friday, the 1st of May, 2020. Welcome along to this morning's United Kingdom Talk. I thought we'd start in the garden today. You know, it's not too sunny yet. It's a bit overcast, but I don't think it's going to rain. If it does, don't worry. I'll be straight into that studio. Okay? Carry on doing your messages as usual. I'll come to those when we go back into the studio, boys and girls. But, yeah, I've already been up this morning. Got up a little bit earlier than I usually do, 7:15, because I had a large parcel to post this morning. Oh, yes, dear. And we're trying to avoid the millions of people all over the world, aren't we? Eh? I hope you're doing the same, dear. You know, there I was, round about, it was about 8 o'clock. I trotted out towards the post office, and wasn't too many people around. There was a few, you know, you kind of just gently avoid them. There might be a little bit of wind, so if you hear a bit of wind, that's what it is. It's not too bad out here this morning. So I got there, and Aldi was open as well. There was already about 4 people in the Aldi queue outside. So if you want to avoid queues, you don't want to be going there, I suppose, about after 9 o'clock in the morning. Sort of between 9 in the morning and 4 in the afternoon, there does appear to be quite a long queue. I don't know what it's like where your Aldi is, but certainly at the Aldi in Bracknell, there's like, it gets a long queue out there. I found, as indeed the other night, I went there at about 9:30 at night. I thought it was at 9 o'clock at night, no one there. No one in a queue outside, and about 4 people in the entire shop. So there might be a little bit of advice there, boys and girls. If you can go sort of late at night, our Aldi is now back open until 10 p.m, as Simon told us the other week. Although Simon Keane, good morning to you, Simon. Oh, I love it. Isn't this lovely? I love it out here. It's a long time since we've done we used to do whole shows in the garden before the chat box. Oh, yes, we used to do entire shows in the garden. Me just sitting there talking to myself. I don't know what my neighbours think. They're probably listening. See, they're very lucky. Don't you wish you was my neighbour? I know you do. Don't you? Do you wish you was my neighbour? They get their own personal live show. I could be selling tickets here. That's what I could do. You know, when the lockdown is over, you know, providing you keep a fair distance apart, I could have chairs sitting out there just waiting to hear what I've got to say to the entire world. Is that an appealing thing to you, is it, my love? I think Claire would be the first one here. Claire, who's probably with us this morning. Good morning to you, Claire. No doubt you would be the first person here. You could sit closest to me because you're posh. You can sit closest to me, and of course, by my side here, right very close to me, would be Mandy Davenport, just in case there's any trouble there, of course. Anything like that. Shania could do, we could do like you do before meals, when you say prayers. Shania could lead prayers before the show in the hope that it goes all right. So just a few suggestions for you there, boys and girls. A few suggestions. We could also have our special guest star, Queen of TikTok, Rachel Wheatland. We're sort of halfway through the show. Okay, we're going to take a break here. Please welcome Rachel Wheatland, and she could do one of her numbers. I think this is a going concern, isn't it, eh? I'm liking the sound of this. Anyway, back to the Aldi story. So, as I say, there was a little bit of a queue as I got... I wasn't going to Aldi, just to the post office this morning. Now, Simon has had a little bit of trouble in Aldi. He's fuming. Absolutely fuming. Simon Keane, who says, I'm fuming. I've just been to Aldi in Congleton, which is in Cheshire, where I live. The last 7 days I've been in the house. I do all my press-ups, sit-up dumbbells work in the garden. Do you? Well, that's strange. I've seen photos of you, Simon. It doesn't look like you do press-ups, sit-up and dumbbells. Have you just started doing them, lovey? Is that how it is, my love? You often hear these people, I've started going to the gym. And 6 months later you have to say, have you started yet? And I'm, frankly, looking at a couple of pictures of you here, there. Have you just started going? Was that your first time, my love? Just take a little bit of time for them to show results, I'm afraid, my love. Look at me. Oh, Christ, talk about the peak of fitness. There are 20-year-olds out there who can only dream of ever being as fit as me. It's true. Anyway, back to this story. I do all my press-ups, sit-ups, dumbbell work in the garden. I refuse to go out for a walk. I'm minimising the risk. So I've done all that basically for nothing because some numb nut didn't adhere to the social distancing, stood right next to me several times. I mean, what is wrong with people, eh? Stupid people. But now, because of that absolute inbred buffoon, I'm worried sick that I have it. This idiot clearly doesn't care. So how many other people has he stood next to? What planet are these divvies living on? Seriously. Do they think this is some sort of government joke? Well, some of them do. I mean, you can't work out the total and utter thickness of some people, especially on Facebook, with their suggestions that it's all some sort of government con to keep us all indoors and under control. I mean, they do. People think this. They say all these videos outside hospitals and that, they're all sort of made up things by the media. But how thick can you be? Jeez. A lot of them have gone very quiet, I must say. You know, especially those that were doing the numbers game. When it first started, oh, only one person out of so-and-so is going to die, you know. They're all on there. You must remember them. About 5 or 6 weeks ago, they were all on the... They've gone very quiet, haven't they? You know, and I wouldn't wish any of them to get anything like this, but still, you know, they've gone very, very quiet. Back to the story. This idiot clearly doesn't care. What planet are these idiots on? I swear I came within seconds of actually kicking the hell out of him. I would have killed him, but my landlord was with me and calmed me down. Trust me, if it had been on my own, I'd be in prison now. What the hell is wrong with these people? They need to get a grip. And I completely and totally understand where you're coming from. I do. When I'm walking around on the paths here, I don't see many people, but when you do, I move right over to the side. Or if there's like, you know, a path and a grass bit, I move right onto the grass. They carry on walking along the middle. It seems to me that the worst people, and this is over the forest, you know, as well as where you kind of cut into the forest and come off the main paths, there are indeed main paths. And the runners seem to stick to the main paths. But do they move over? No. They go straight down the middle of the path and you kind of move over to the side. No, they're still down the middle. I don't understand people that, I run where I want to. Those sort of people. Trash, darling. Trash. The same as what you stood into next to Aldi. Trash. Now, I've no problem with Aldi, a staff or anything like that. I think it's excellent value, excellent money. But I'm afraid, in my experience, and I'm not running a load of people down because I'm an Aldi shopper as well. Plenty of you are Aldi shoppers. But if you go in there, they are the sort of people you bump into in there often. I have to say it, I've never ever seen it in Waitrose. I go to both. I go to Aldi at one end of the scale and Waitrose at the other end of the scale. I have never ever seen any trouble ever in Waitrose, ever. I've seen one bloke run out the door with one staff and there's a delightful security man in it. Oh, he's gorgeous. And he's got a lovely family. And he runs after them and he gets them and throws them to the ground and beats them. They must be beaten, these people. Beaten into submission, my darlings. So there we are. What I would say to you, Simon, is that looking at the numbers on the telly and all that, one incident, you've got to be pretty unlikely to catch it off that. That's all I want to say. And I mean that. I absolutely mean that. I think, possibly like me, you're one of the people who is extremely cautious. You know me, I wash the shopping when it comes in. I walk on the other side of the road if there's someone coming with me. Indeed, on my little trip down to the shops today, I walked there. When I got near the shops, I got out my United Kingdom talk mask, which, if you have one, may I remind you, probably won't protect you against the virus or any other bacteria. So I've got that. I get 2 tissues and fold them up, put them under the mask and put it on my ears. My opinion is something is better than nothing. That's my opinion. And then I come back, I'll get my whatever I'm doing. I come back here straight away, take my coat off and wash my hands thoroughly. If there's shopping, I wash the shopping. If I don't want to wash it and it's not like perishable, it goes in the shed. I've got not loads of stuff, just a few items in there. One of which includes, I shouldn't really tell. Please don't tell anyone this, Simon. A multi-pack Oh, cheese and onion crisps. Mm-mm. And I had the first 3 of them yesterday. Before dinner. Never mind. I noticed that the sun's coming this way, so I'm probably brighter this side than the other. Okay, so that's Aldi and Simon's story there. So walked past the queue at Aldi and went into the post office. This would have been about 8:15 in the morning. I thought I'll go at that time. See, to avoid the trouble. Not the trouble, to avoid all the people. That's why I went there that early in the morning. And there was about 3 or 4 people in there, and I got there and I stood on the side, and the lady behind the till, she says, "Hello, sir, is it the post office?" Because I'm standing there with a big box. "Yes, please." She said, "If you want to go right round the back and you can come back up that way, just wait there and I'll be with you in a second, sir." Okay, and I went in there. There's all these lines on the ground, which is good. You know, that the post office, well, it's a newsagent, you know, when newsagent with a post office desk. If you see, there keeps being a flash. Are you seeing that flash? Every now and again, I seem to get a flash on the screen. So I queued up there. Well, I waited there. I was first in the line, and she rang the bell. Bling! And another member of staff miraculously appears. Now, why is it there's only the one member of staff in there? What is the other one doing? That's the question. It's like she pushes this button and one appears in a puff of smoke. Amazing, really. And I handed her the box. I didn't have to do anything. All I needed to do was hand her the box. And she scanned it, and that was it. I didn't need to pay any money, and I'll tell you why that is in a minute. And that was all fine, really. You know, all fine. And I walked out. I never touched anyone. No one touched me, rather disappointingly. It's been a while now, but never mind. No one touched me. And then I had a letter as well, which is actually another mask for Mark Jones. His mask seems to have got lost. I'm really sorry about that flashing. I do not know what that is. I'm sure you can probably see it. Now and again, the picture flashes. Might be time for a new iPhone. I think this one's getting a little bit worn out. The battery certainly is, anyway. So I've sent Mark Jones's mask went missing in the post. It's been about 3 or 4 weeks now. So I got my sister. We found a little bit more material. We made one more mask, and that is now on its way to you, Mark Jones. Hope you receive that. Maybe even tomorrow if you're lucky. You might even get it tomorrow. Although I gather the post office are stopping Saturday deliveries at some point, aren't they? I think they're stopping Saturday deliveries at some point. Anyway, so that was it. Then I walked back home and washed my hands. And here we are. Here we are, first thing in the morning, sitting in the garden. It don't get much better than this, does it, eh? I love it. So what was in the parcel? Well, last night, as you know, there was no phone-in show last night. I'd already mentioned to you on... Thanks very much for your messages you're typing up there. Don't worry, I'll be back in the studio shortly. It's only the first little part of the show. I've come out here to chat away in the garden with you. I'd already mentioned to you on the show yesterday, I wasn't that happy with the phone-in show. There's something not right with it. I can't put my finger on it, to be honest. But it's kind of not doing it for me. And to do this... If it's not a job and more of a hobby than a job, you've got to have something else that's pulling you into it, like this. I'm always pulled towards you in the morning, on the quiz show, on the bingo show, but there's something not right with that phone-in show, and I can't explain it. Sometimes I think, I do the show and I think, well, you know, you gave all these suggestions of things to talk about on the show today, and then people ring up and just say hello. And I thought, this just is not doing it for me. Anyway, so yesterday afternoon, it was my mate's birthday yesterday. And he wasn't in, unfortunately, but well, he was in, but in bed. He wasn't very well yesterday. So I walked up to his house, rang the doorbell, you know, with the end of my umbrella. I won't touch anything. I've got up with the umbrella. About halfway there, and it's about a 25-minute walk. About halfway where the heavens opened up. Now, it was already dull, and I thought, well, it might rain, I'll be okay. No. So, of course, I've got the trainers on, haven't I? You know, trainers are on. I've got the umbrella, which kept this bit sort of dry, but my feet got very wet. And you remember we did the story yesterday about trench feet. Do you remember that? Trench foot. Very, very bad. Too much, that's when your foot is sort of in a shoe, with a sock on, and it can't dry out and it gets wet. It's awful. Awful. I thought any minute now I'm going to start getting trench feet. Anyway, I managed to struggle up there, rung his bell with the end of my umbrella. He didn't answer. I thought, OK, you're still in bed then. Then I put the parcel in his cupboard, which is, for his birthday, he wanted one of those window vacuum cleaner things that I've got. Is it Kucha, something like that, isn't it? So that's what I got him. So I left it there, and then I've come back again, and I thought, oh, let's even though my foot was soaking wet, I thought I'd take a different route. Well, I got lost, didn't I? Oh. So instead of taking 25 minutes, it took about 40. All this time, my foot is getting wetter and wetter. And, of course, then it starts travelling up your tracksuit bottoms, doesn't it? I don't know how that happens, but the water, it's like, I think it's like, you know, when you get a piece of tissue paper and you put a bit of water on the end and it travels up the paper. That's what was happening to my legs. My tracksuit legs. Awful. Eventually, I got back home and I was cold and my feet were soaked. On the way back home, I thought I'd turn on my hot water with my Hive app. Oh, yes. So as soon as I got in, the water is all ready. I've gone straight upstairs, got in the shower, had a lovely shower. And then I went into bed. And I think I woke up at about 7:30, 7:45 in the end. And I'm looking at the clock and I thought, oh, I'll have to rush now to get a show on by 9. And I thought, do you know what? I just don't want to do it. Didn't want to do it. And I didn't feel quite 100% anyway. Always a bit of wind there. It might sound like there's wind. Oh, it flashed again then. Did you see that? What's that doing that for? A little bit of wind now and again. And so that's why there was no show last night. And I think I sat there in the living room in complete silence thinking, oh, I don't know about this. And so I decided to not do the phone-in anymore on the Thursday. For now, anyway. I'm not sort of writing it off completely, but I need to have a little think if I want to do something with that or not. For me, that phone-in was not working. It just wasn't working, okay? So no phone-in anymore on a Thursday. Then I watched the Best Marigold Hotel. That started again. Fantastic, about all those old pensioners. Who's the old bag who's had the face work? Oh, my God. Brit someone. Brit. She's had all the lips out here and all the tight face. She's the only one out of all of them that's had it done. You've also got Duncan Ballantyne. He's great. They went to India. It's these, I think it's 6 or 7 pensioners. And what they're doing is going abroad to see if it would be a good place to retire. And then there was Nasty Nick from EastEnders. My God, he's aged, doesn't he? Not necessarily in a bad way, but he has aged. And I thought, wow, that's Nick. He used to have that beautiful slim figure, a little bit like I am now, you know. And the black leather coat on he'd have, wouldn't he? Being nasty to Doc Cotton. He's in it. Duncan Ballantyne, Brit someone or other, some fashion woman with got the strangest taste in clothes, but she's a character, so we love her. Who's the other fella? One of the boys, they were a comedy duo. I can't remember the other, not Cannonball. Oh, the Something Brothers. The Something Brothers. One of those was on it. I think the other one died recently. And there was one other. Anyway, I can't remember who it is. The first one will now be on the BBC iPlayer. A great view, very warm, very, it won't upset anyone. It's wonderful, wonderful. So that's the Best Marigold Hotel. Then I watched the final episode of Our Girl, which again was excellent. Our Girl, great for it. Then I hoovered the stairs. Now it's about 11 o'clock at night. Of course, because I'd got up late, now I'm quite awake. So I thought, well, what am I going to do now? So I hoovered the stairs, and I had the, not only did I hoover the stairs, I got the attachment out. You know, the thin attachment, and I put it right down where the carpet meets the wall, that bit there, because I never do that. Oh, the dust that comes out of that, dear. And then also the bit where it goes up, you know, like the corner like that. So that's the stair, yeah? That's the bit in there. And that bit, the corner. The dust that comes out of that, we'll never do it. Years ago I did that. The stairs get hoovered every couple of weeks, but I don't do that bit right inside. So I got all the dust out of that. And then I thought, well, here's an ideal time to do my accounts. So I'd already got all the statements and all that sorted out. They're all laid out on the bed, all I had to do was what I call the big printout, where I print out everything that I've been inputting into the computer. So I did that, come back out to the shed quietly, want to wake the neighbours up, to find an old Amazon box. Usually I'll buy a box. But do you know how much a cardboard box is? They're about £4 from Ryman's. Why is it £4 for a cardboard box? And it was my sister, actually, recently, I was talking about that some months ago now. She said, well, why don't you save the Amazon boxes? Oh, well, I usually chuck those away. She said, no, save them. So I've been saving some of those. And I think I used the Amazon box at my mate's Karcher window cleaner thing coming. So I went out and got that, went upstairs, put all the stuff in the box, and sealed it up, all ready to go off. So then I came in front of my computer, started doing a parcel search, right, who's going to take the parcel. Now, usually I send stuff with Hermes, but for some reason I was typing in the postal code of my accountant who's up in Scotland. He used to live in Kent, but he wanted to isolate. This is years ago. He wanted to live on his own, a bit like a hermit. I mean, I'm not adverse to that idea either, to be honest. Really, honestly, I think I'd be quite happy on my own, really, you know, in a little place in the middle of nowhere, you know, with no one around, just a few nice animals and plants to keep me company. And it wouldn't find, I put in the postcode, but his proper address that I know of wasn't coming up. It was a similar address, but not exactly as I put on it. Now, it might have been all right, but when you send in accounts and important pieces of paper, you don't want those to get lost. So I then went on the post office website, and you can do it all from there. Marvellous. And I think it was about £9 to send all this stuff off to Scotland in the box. So you weigh it on scales, then it asks you how big it is, you know, length and width and depth and all that. And you pay your money, PayPal I paid with, and then you print off a little label thing on your printer. You cut the bit off, you know, cut it into shape, and then you just stick it on the top of your box. Fantastic. And then all you've got to do is hand it into the post office. That's it. You just hand it in. Everything's done. You haven't got to pay any money. I haven't got to touch anyone. So literally, that's what I did this morning, you see. 8 o'clock. And I wanted to do that this morning. Got up, went down to the post office. There you go, my love. Can I give that to you? So I said, I don't think I've got to pay anything. She said, let's have a look. Yep, that's okay, my love. Do you want a receipt? I said, no, that's fine. She said, okay, all done. You can go. Thank you very much. Thanks for your permission. Oh, dear. Thanks for your permission. So that was the post office this morning, and that's why I went. All right, is that everything here? I've got a stamps story as well to tell you. Which I think we'll do up in the studio. Going back to the carpets, very, very important to get those carpets, especially if you've, like me, I have a woolen carpet. Thank you very much. Oh, yes, dear. None of that nasty fake stuff here, dear. Plastic carpets? Good God, man. Acrylic? I don't think so, dear. Electric shock every time you touch something. Woolen carpets from John Lewis. Thank you very much. Yeah. Those carpets are about 7 or 8 years old on the stairs now, I would imagine. And I'll never forget, I had a bit of money saved up. So I went with my mate to John Lewis and went into the carpet department. And went up. They don't hassle you in John Lewis. That's the beauty of going in there. And can I help you? No, it's okay. Well, what are you looking for? Go away. No. You go to them. I'd like to buy some carpet, please. Okay, sir. Is there any particular type that you'd like? I said, yes, I've seen this beige one over here, and I'd like some for the bedroom as well, that purple one there. He said, okay, sir. What quality are you looking at? What's your budget, please? And I said, well, I don't want to have to do it again. Okay, sir, come over here, please. So he took me over to these woolen carpets, and it wasn't cheap. However, you know, 8 years later, they don't look worn or anything. Brilliant. And I had those installed. Very, very important, though, you've got to check for moths. They hide. Oh, dear. You thought wasps were bad. Moths hide. How many times have you been in your house and there's a moth suddenly appeared on a wall? Where did that come from? They hide. Be warned of them. Almost as bad as the lily beetles. Have you checked this morning, Claire? Lily beetles? Have you checked? I'm still out there checking it, even when it's wet. An ideal opportunity for them to attack when it's wet. Yeah, because that spray you've put on has all been washed off. You check those when they've got wet. Those lilies outside, Claire, for the lily beetle of the attack of. Could be a horror film, couldn't it? Attack of the lily beetle. Yeah. So similar carpet, woolen carpets, moths. That's why you've got to hoover in the little cracks and crevices. I'll tell you about the chair in John Lewis. For 3 years, I used to go in John Lewis, whatever it was, you know, whatever I've gone in there for something. And there's this chair in the furniture department, electric. You push a button, zzz, zzz, armchair. 3 years, it flashed again then, didn't it? 3 years I went and sat in that and couldn't decide that I wanted to spend the £700 on it, dear. Still didn't buy it. Wish I had now. Be very comfortable there, wouldn't it? Right, so we've got a stamp story as well. We're also going to have a little look at the papers. But right now, let's go up to the studio. Okay, live up to the studio. I'm live now. Live up to the studio and see. Isn't this marvellous? Camera down here and everything. Live up to the studio and have a rapid look at your wonderful messages that are pouring in at this moment. Thank you very much. Hello! Did you enjoy that? Yes, I thought it was quite nice. Doing that from the garden this morning. Well, just before I come to it, very, very important. As you noticed, we're in a new month, May the 1st. Yes, so we need to change the new Barry photograph. I wonder what delightful... Thank you very much, Wendy Young, for the calendar. I wonder what delightful picture of Barry we've got today. Oh, look. It just gets better as the months go by, doesn't it? Look at this. Oh, 1 minute. Oh, yes, I like that. I can do that pose. Yeah. Yeah, like that. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I might do that pose at the returning karaoke nights, whenever that's going to happen. Very, very exciting. Now, how many people we got watching today? 39. Okay, I have quite a lot to show you today. That's, of course, if you want to see it, my darlings. I have a little video of David Fryer's garden that he sent in. I have a picture of Rachel's clock, and I have a set of pictures from Sean Pye when he was a little boy, and what he looks like now. Of course, if you don't want to see them, you know, that's fair enough. I understand that. Maybe you don't want to see the delightful David Fryer's beautiful garden, and it is. Wait till you see Rachel's clock. I say that with an L, boys and girls. And Sean's pictures from little boy to strapping man. All you've got to do is click the thumbs up, the like button. We will require today to see those pictures. 39 viewers. Let's push the boat out today. We will need 28 likes for that. Okay? 28 likes to see those things there. We already have 14. So you're halfway there already, you see? I don't make it difficult. I'm not the nasty teacher at school who makes the lessons purposely difficult just for you. No. I'm a nice, kind-hearted person. Sometimes people don't get my humour. Sometimes people can't get the humour. There has been occasion where I might have done something and I thought, yeah, that's really funny. And then you get nasty comments. I think you know what I mean, Rachel. But people don't get irony. Thick people don't get irony, where you look at something and you decide in your own small mind, not you, Rachel, they decide in their small minds what that means, and then they attack because they don't get it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. If there's anyone out there who thought I was a nasty person, I'd very much doubt that you'd be watching this show. Okay, that's all I'm saying. You have to understand irony to get some of the stuff that I do. If you don't, You're in the wrong place. Will I change for you? Absolutely not. Let's see who's with us this morning then. Jason Hughes, good morning. Hello to Sean Pye. There's a man that sent some pictures in today. Do you want to see them? All you got to do is click the like button. We're already up to 19. We only need 28. Only 9 more to go. We should have some sort of light coming up here, shouldn't we? You know, like a totalizer like they had on Blue Peter. That one, yes. I love it. Mornings to Michael Lawrence, Mick Davenport, Jason Hughes, Andy, Diane Jebb. There's David Fry. I've got a video of his garden. If you want to see it, click the like button. Andy, Michael Pullman, Gavin Bass, good morning. Scrolling rather quickly to get all your names in there, my loves. Morning to Adam the plumber. He's on a drive down to Brighton today. Good morning, Adam. Doing his piping work. Just pipes. He does pipes. Hello to Mari Lowe, who's enjoying the garden this morning. Yes, it's been a long time since we did a show in the garden. That was the days when everything was recorded. There were no live shows at that point. But yeah, I can do that now. So I think you're going to see more of that. As the weather improves, we'll do the first bit in the garden. It's better to do the first bit than the second bit, really, because otherwise it just, you've got to leave stuff running down there. I can turn that off, you see, before I come up here. Rachel, good morning to Rachel. John Aitken, hello to you, sir. Good morning to Dan S. That was mentioned at the beginning of the show, Dan. Daniel, morning. There's LaBelle. Today I am her emerald-eyed Adam in the Garden of Eden. You excel yourself this morning, LaBelle. There I was in bed last night watching all of your videos and Rachel's. Blooming marvellous. That TikTok is killing me. Do you know what time I managed to fall asleep? 3 a.m. I just finished watching the TikTok for I thought, I've got to go to sleep now. And I went to the toilet and there's a clock in the bathroom. 3 a.m. I thought, I can't believe it's 3 a.m. I went to bed at 1 o'clock. 2 hours watching TikTok. It's so addictive. I understand now how people are addicted to computer games because I'm addicted to TikTok. TikTok, watching people's talents. Mornings to Shania. There she is, head of the Catholic Church on the Isle of Wight. Good morning to Stuart. A very good morning to you. Bank holiday in Germany today. Oh, right, okay. Different bank holidays to us, so I don't know what you're going to be doing on a bank holiday, just staying at home as everyone else is at the moment, I suppose. Morning to George Bond. Could you do some skip? Oh, yeah. Oh, Stu's quite right. You could do some skipping at a safe distance with your neighbour. Oh, I don't think I'd be very good at that. No, I can see me running out of breath. or tripping over the skipping rope. I keep falling over at the moment. 3 times now. I don't know what it's causing that, whether or not I'm just not looking where I'm going, or my mate says you might have something wrong with your foot. Good morning to the delightful Matt Walker in Australia. A very good morning to you. Kirk was the brand name. Oh, okay, fair enough. Morning to... we just jumped up a little bit there. Let me just scroll back a little bit there. It does jump forward sometimes, and I have to go back again. Where do we get to there? Did I see... Oh, there we go. Ashley Smith. Are you sure it was water? Oh, I can't remember now. I don't know. Possibly not. You never know. Good morning, Tony King. There was no fly past for me, Jason. Not even a flock of seagulls. No. I thought everyone had Hive now, Ashley. Have you not got Hive, dear? Oh, you must be very poor. Everyone's got Hive. Every person on this channel has got Hive now. We can turn the heating on wherever we are in the world. It's wonderful, dear. Wonderful. Especially when you're coming home from work. Instead of setting that timer for 1 o'clock, and you've pulled in the club, therefore you're not going to be back till the next day, and then heating the house up unnecessarily, don't have to turn it on. Wonderful. Wonderful device, dear. Hive. The Flash is a storm on its way. I do hope not. Well, I'm back in stores now, so that doesn't matter, Rachel. Dan, shame about the Thursdays. What if you do something else? I don't know, Dan. Don't know. Was it Britt Eklund, Tony? Yes, I think you're probably right. Britt Eklund was in the Marigold Hotel thing last night. Really good. So all her lips are like this. It don't look right. I'm sorry, it doesn't. But these people, they have their facial surgery. They think it looks fantastic. If that makes them happy, so be it, so be it. But we can, if we don't like it, we've got the right to say that, haven't we? I think so. If you, don't you think so? Whatever. If you said I was an ugly person, I'd just block you. Simple as that. I'm sure she'd do the same to me. Brit Eklund. Rachel's met Nasty Nick. Have you really? Oh, how wonderful. I expect he is a nice chap. Always remember, these people on the telly, soaps, dramas, things like that, they are playing characters. It's not them. I've heard all sorts of terrible stories about various actors and actresses being attacked in the street because people didn't like their character. Again, it's the thickos, I'm afraid, boys and girls. There's so many of them around. As I said earlier in the show, just look at Facebook. Thickos who think that person on the telly is actually that person. No. It's beyond me. It really is, people. John, Brit Eklund was a beautiful lady in the 60s, was married to Peter Sellers and Rod Stewart, which I knew of Rod Stewart. I didn't know Peter Sellers as well there. Chuckle Brothers, thank you, Andy. Andy, that's who I mentioned earlier. It was the Chuckle Brothers, one of those sadly passed away some time ago. I must be honest, I don't remember the Chuckle Brothers. I know them, I don't remember the acts. I can't remember any of the funnies. Not like you would remember, like Morecambe and Wise. I certainly remember them. Oh, God. How much enjoyment did they give us in the 1970s, eh? Especially Christmas Day. Oh, the Morecambe and Wise Christmas show, say no more. Oh, what talent. And the two Ronnies. Cannonball, yeah, not so much. But the Chuckle Brothers, I can't remember the act. I'm sure they were very good, but there we are. Matt, careful walking up the steps. Trench foot waiting to happen there, mate. I was very concerned. Trench foot in 30 minutes. It was nice to get under that shower, though. Did I say hello to Zabrina? Good morning to Zabrina. Hello to Dr. Gregorian there. Shania was tempted to hoover at 6:30 this morning, but thought that would be too mean on the neighbours. Depends how thick your walls are, really. If you've got a new... I don't know what sort of house you've got, Shania. But if you've got a new house, then probably not. It's the old houses. If you've got an old house, no one can hear you. I've never, ever heard my neighbours, except when she had a saxophone. Oh, God, that used to go through the house. And she would play it in the kitchen, which is the furthest room from me. There's something about the saxophone that makes it travel through all the walls and everything, And she asked me, I just wanted to ask you, can you hear my saxophone? Because I never said it. I said, well, actually, yes. And she changed to playing when she knew I wasn't asleep, which was very kind of her. I get on so well with my neighbours, wonderful neighbours. It's the only thing I've ever heard, the saxophone. What an annoying... it sounds beautiful when you're playing music, but when you're sitting there and what's that noise? It does, travels through all the walls. If you've got noisy neighbours, my heart really goes out to you. It must be the worst thing ever to be not able to escape from the noise in your own home. But I have no problems with my neighbours here. We're all great friends and all that. There's Claire. Has checked for the Lily Beetles. None on the last few days. You might have got them all now, mate. Claire's got all the Lily Beetles. We are pleased to announce. What other interesting? Shania likes the garden. Excellent. Shania likes the garden. Michael loved the sound of the birds in the background. Tony King likes the garden. I knew you would. I knew you would. Barry is in full swing this month. It's good, isn't it, that? Mari, I love that. Is Rachel not well? I've missed that one, have I, somewhere? Get well, Rachel. Whatever's wrong with you, darling. I must have skipped across there somewhere. Let's have a look. John loves the new Rolling Stones song, Living in a Ghost Town. Not heard that. Radio 2's Record of the Week. Oh, it's not the same since they changed that jingle, dear. The news jingle. Ba, 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 ba. They changed it. They changed it a couple of years ago now. I enjoyed that. Morning to Scott Walker today. Hello to you, sir. LaBelle is just me trying to be an actress. You are not out of practice. I've seen your videos, darling. Lip sync. Perfect lip sync from LaBelle. Check her out on TikTok. LaBelle's videos, okay? Adam, if we're out and the situation by October, could we do a live show from Central Station with a live studio audience and special guest appearances for the last 15 years' birthday celebrations? No, because I don't think this show would be very good with a live audience. I don't think that would work. I honestly don't. I can't see that happening, no. Would I even try it? I don't know. Sean hasn't got Hive. Oh, come on, Sean. You've got loads of cash in that bank. You're the most generous person on this channel. You really are. How are we doing with the likes? 20 likes. Only 4 more likes, boys and girls. And I'll be able to show you the video of David Fryer, Rachel's Cuckoo Clock. I say that with an L. And Sean Pye's selection of videos from little boy to lad, to strapping lad, okay? Do you want to see those pictures and things? You need to click the thumbs up. I need 4 more. 4 more. Fran says Britt Ekland looks like a duck. You're absolutely right. That's what I thought. The lips, the face. Why have that surgery? Grow old gracefully. I mean, look how beautiful, let's think, Vera Lynn looks. Stunning. You know, don't need to have all this surgery. You really don't. Jason Chuckle Brothers were more aimed at the children's entertainment. I still don't remember them, unfortunately. One of the lads used to watch it all the time when he was little. I just don't remember the Chuckle Brothers. I don't know why. Parkness, good morning. Hello to John Paris up in his caravan. All right. Oh, you got a water infection. Oh, is it burning? Isn't that awful? Oh, God. Have you got to go to the doctor or can they just send you something in a post? Maybe. I don't know. Morning to excuse me. Morning to Terry Turner. Our fellow Time Lord. We are all Time Lords here. How are we doing? Right, we got 26 likes. Here we go, boys and girls. Fair's fair. Fair's fair. Here comes our little video today. I'm going to start today, or pictures. I'll start today with Rachel's clock. Now, she did send this in a couple of days ago, but I didn't get it, or I might have skipped over it somewhere. I don't know where it's gone. But here is Rachel's cuckoo clock. Now, we can't obviously get the Rachel cuckoo doing the cuckoo. So you're so lucky, aren't you? I am going to do the cuckoo for you. Ready? Here we go. Cuckoo. Cuckoo. Now, obviously, the doors are not opening and you cannot see the cuckoo, right? But I am doing the cuckoo for you. If you can just imagine, perhaps, the doors opening and a cuckoo coming out. You ready? Cuckoo. And the cuckoo usually goes backwards and forwards, doesn't it? When it's coming out there. So here we go. Cuckoo, 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 cuckoo. How many cuckoos did I do? Let's see if anyone was paying any attention then. How many cuckoos did I just do? Hey? Come on, how many cuckoos did I just do? Anyone got an idea? No? Thick as planks, everyone. No one's paying any... I'm on in the background again, aren't I? Be honest. I'm on in the background. How rude are you? I will not be on in the background. I bet LaBelle doesn't have me on in the background. Because if I found out LaBelle had me on in the background, I'd turn up at one of her shows, and when she comes on stage, just start talking to someone and making it obvious and not looking at the stage. I hope, LaBelle, you're giving me that full attention on your colour set in New York. I should be most disappointed. And he says BritBox is being in children's war. Oh, I'm not going to buy BritBox. No, not going to get BritBox. I've got Netflix, that's it. Well, I've got Amazon Prime, but that's to do with the parcels. The Prime thing is just an added extra that I wouldn't pay for. One is enough. I'm not paying for BritBox as well. Good. Okay, so that's the clock. What else have we got here? Rachel says 8. Tony King 6. Sean Pye 7. No, it's 8. It was 8. How disappointing. Very disappointing. Very, very disappointing. Especially with you, Sean. You know, 6, 8. Jack Thomas 8. Correct, Jack. Very disappointed. Sean. I may just remove your photos from the system. Maybe I won't show your photos now. As punishment. As punishment. As punishment for getting that incorrect and not paying full attention to the show, you can have the choice of either not having your photos shown or accepting pain and suffering from Mandy Davenport. What's it going to be? The choice is yours. Push your buttons now. Okie doke. Now we got a little video to show you of someone's garden. David Fryer sent in a little video of his garden yesterday, and here it is. Quite nice, isn't it? Look at those like palmy type things. I don't know what they are. That's quite an extensive garden. Very. Look, I reckon he measures the grass, don't you? I bet he measures the grass. Huh? Is there audio on that? I don't know if there's audio on it. I can't hear it if there is. 1 minute, hang on. Advanced audio properties. Let me do this something so I can hear it. Oh, yeah, birds singing. Oh, how delightful. Birds singing. That's good. Oh, I'm back. Hello. Oh, we're back. At that point, usually a makeup person comes in and is touching up my makeup and doing my hair. Isn't that a lovely garden he's got there? Very well kept. Much better kept than mine. I quite like mine to be a bit wild. Seriously, there's bits of it where it's nicely mowed down, but there's a corner actually where I was sitting, directly behind me on the left. If you were looking at me, it'd be on the right. There's a corner there by a gate which you can't open, and I leave that. That's where I planted the bluebells, because it's behind the tree. I like a bit of wildness. If I had the choice of going to Kew Gardens with perfectly manicured gardens and, you know, every single dead leaf removed and what have you, like that sort of thing, or Wimbledon Common, I'd go to Wimbledon Common. By the way, I did bring a pot. You can't quite see the plant, can you? I did bring a plant in here today, but I didn't realise it was so far out of view there. But yeah, Mick Davenport says, very posh, David. It is a lovely garden, isn't it? And the birds singing. Could you hear the birds singing this morning? There wasn't too many out there this morning. Beautiful garden, David. Absolutely beautiful garden. Good. So that's that. And finally, boys and girls, has Sean Pye decided what he wants? He wants both. Okay, Mandy. So he wants the pain and suffering from Mandy. And he wants the photos removed from here as well. Too late, Sean. You've sent the photos here. Are you ready? Sean Pye, from little boy to strapping lad. Here we go. Oh, look at him now. Where's that? Is it Skegness? I don't know where that would be. He's not strong enough to pull down the one-armed bandit there. There he is. That must be his wife then. She's very pretty, isn't she? And clearly a biker. There we are. Look at that. She's beautiful. And there he is as he looks now. Decent looking chap, Sean, to be honest. Very decent looking. All right. Thank you very much. Those of you that sent pictures and bits and pieces in, there he is again. And that will come round again now. There we are. All right. Thank you, Sean. It's quite nice to see what people look like, isn't it? Really. So anyone else who wants to send anything in, feel free to do so. Just send it to me at chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Dan says those plants are cordyline. Is that what they're called? Cordylines? Cordylines, okay. Cordylines. All right. I don't know that. I don't know what that is. Good. Excellent. Stamps. So stamps. You remember I couldn't find any first-class stamps and I've been waiting for them to come. And eventually I went on the Amazon website and looked, and it said they'd been delivered. Right, so this would be now the 29th of April, and it said delivered 22nd of April. So I thought, oh. So I've had a look around the house where things are, you know, where I'd put things. At the moment, as you know, when a letter comes in the post, right, I'll pick it up and put it somewhere and wash my hands and leave it there for 2 or 3 days. So if there's any virus on there, it dies off by the time I get to it. I do the same with shopping. If I don't wash it, then it goes in the shed, okay, and it stays there for 2 or 3 days, so that if there's any virus on there, it dies off, and then I go and use whatever I'm doing there. So I've had another look around for these, and I can't find these stamps anywhere. I've got some large letter stamps that arrived in little booklets. Well, I didn't look at them. Large letter. I thought they were the large letter ones, and I put them on top of an old computer, which is down. I've got this old computer downstairs. I've taken out the hard drive. I don't know if anyone wants it. I don't want it, but I mean, you'd have to. I don't know. I'd have to get it to you somehow. I wouldn't put it in the post though. You'd have to turn up at the pub and collect it from me. I've got an old computer. Might be good for parts if anyone wants it. No charge. You know, you can just have that. It's about, I don't know what it was running, maybe Windows 7, or is that any good to anyone? The memory or anything like that in there? Or just the case, maybe? I don't know. If anyone wants that, you're welcome to it. And I've come back here, so I've fired off an email. I don't want a refund. I just want the stamps, really. So I fired off an email, and that was it. Anyway, a day went past, and then I got an email back from the sender saying that I've managed to track your email through the Royal Mail, and it says it was delivered at 11:33 on April the 22nd, and the signature was Reardon, although they messed an R out. It said Readon. But actually, when you look at my signature, you probably can't always see that second R. You know how you do a funny signature. You can certainly see the word Chris, but we are. So I'm thinking, this is really strange. Now, sometimes when I have stuff delivered, I'll put it, if I'm not in, they might put it in a safe space. But stamps, surely they would come in an envelope or something and through the thing. And I'm looking at this picture where, I got them off Amazon, so I don't have to go to the post office. Order 25 first class stamps. And on the picture, there's a picture of a sheet of first class stamps. And I thought, well, I've had no sheet come in this house. Not in an envelope where it'd probably be folded up. You'd have unfold and there'd be a sheet of stamps. So I've gone around the house again, looked in the same places. Looked as I walk in the door, looked on the table. There's the first large letter stamps there. Went out to the shed where I put the shop in. I thought maybe I'd put it out there. Then I found my grey envelopes. I ordered some new large grey plastic envelopes. Weren't there. So I was pleased I found the large grey plastic envelope. I was looking for the day before those. Come back up and I thought, God, where can these be? Well, they just can't be here. So I've started tapping away again. Right? And something told me to go back downstairs. So I haven't sent this email. I've gone back downstairs. And I'm looking in the same places again. And I thought, how long have those large first-class stamps been there? I'll put them away now. They must have been there a week. So they've been sitting there and untouched for a while. So I've picked them up. And I thought, there's 2 lots of these. I don't remember ordering 2 lots. I ordered 25 first-class stamps, but I wouldn't order 25 large letter stamps. Anyway, I picked up these 2 little booklets and it said 12. And then the other one said 12. And then on its own, sitting next to them, is a first-class stamp. And I thought, oh no. So, of course, I opened up the booklets. In one, there's 12. And in the other, there's 12. They're first-class stamps. And there's one on its own. What does that make? 25. And I thought, oh, you blooming idiot, Chris. Of course, in my mind, because of the picture that she put on there, one sheet of stamps. That's what I'm looking for. It didn't occur to me, of course, you buy these things in little booklets as well. So the stamps are there. I've come straight up here, and I'll always apologise. If I'm in the wrong, I'll always apologise, right? So I sent off another email, apologised, which she hasn't replied to, or he or she, whoever it is. And of course, meantime, when they didn't arrive, I've ordered another load, I think 36 first-class stamps, which arrived yesterday as well. So I've now got about 60 first-class stamps, so you should be all right getting your post out. Also, arriving soon are the large letter stamps. They are the ones that have got delayed. And then I look them up and there's a sign that says, these have been delayed. What an idiot. What an idiot. And all that trouble. But you see, that's what was in my head. I'm looking for a sheet of stamps. Nowhere to be seen. Just little booklets. Never mind, Dave, never mind. Wait till you get to my age, says John. Does it get worse, John? LaBelle's going to send pictures, but they're just me in different colours there. You send what you want, LaBelle. All I ask is that if you're going to send stuff, please just send one picture. Choose your best picture, and that goes for everyone. Just one picture, and otherwise it just so much stuff I can just imagine how much stuff would come through. Funny. Oh, talking of that, obviously I didn't do the show last night, so we're not going to do a Thursday show. Okay, we're not going to do a Thursday night show for now. We've dropped the phone-in show. But funnily enough, so I'm sitting there having dinner last night about 8 o'clock, I think it was, and the phone rang, and it was BBC Berkshire. They said, "Oh, we got a little gap in the show tonight. Can we use one of your audio clips that you've sent in?" I said, "Yeah, whatever. Which one are you going to use? The one about the alternative toilet paper? You know, we did that about 2 weeks ago, that story, didn't we?" "Yeah, that's fine." He said, "Can I ring you as well? We'll have a little chat on air." So I did that last night as well. So I did a bit more on the BBC Berkshire thing last night, which was quite nice. It wasn't Babs. There was someone else filling in for her. What was his name? I can't remember. He sounded very young, actually. He wasn't as chatty as Babs. He was all right, you know. He wasn't as chatty as Babs was on the phone, you know. Shania ordered her stamps from the Royal Mail Direct. Ordered Sunday, and it came on Wednesday. So that's not bad, is it? Mandy, it can only happen to you. Yeah, well, one of those things. Lots of people like Sean's pictures. Look, Mandy thinks you're cute, Sean. Mandy thinks you're cute. Isn't that nice? Good. Right, we've got a few stories to do here, gang. Is Jason Hughes still there? Jason, in the Daily Mirror. Have you seen the Daily Mirror this morning, Jason Hughes? Have you seen that yet, lovey? Camera 4, is that one? Or is it that one? That one. So many cameras. I've moved this now. I'm going to get rid of this camera. It's crap, innit? The quality, I don't understand. This is a Microsoft camera, although it's a little bit old. I will get rid of this at some point. Oh, you can see my plant now in all its glory. There's a plant there. What a crap cat. I'm not even going to use it. There you go. Let's go back to that. That's better, isn't it? That one's all right, isn't it? And number 3's all right. That's number 3. That's all right, isn't it? My sister said, "Ow, when you use that camera that's really close, you can see all your lines." Hello, I am 57, darling. Isn't it funny, sis? You're younger than me, and you look so much older. Why is that, lovey? My sister's doing very well on the weight loss. They're on, I think it's a keto diet or something. She's lost loads of weight. Her bum's completely disappeared. Completely. I think it's gone on me, to be honest. Well, it will do after I have another couple of bags of crisps after I finish the show today. Morning to Peter Wright and Peter Paliwoda. Morning to you. Sean is lucky if I run out of toilet paper, I have 2 cats. Oh, no. They're very useful as dusters, aren't they? Cats as well. Poor cats. I love cat videos. There was a TikTok one with this cat, and it's looking at the lampshade, and it starts crouching, and you know it's going to jump, and it jumps up and gets hold of the lampshade, and it's swinging from this lamp. What's the picture on the table? Oh, it's my mum and dad. Mum and dad. There you go. Mum and dad. All right. So this was a Pontins. I'm not sure which one it was, but I went down. They were on holiday, and I went down. I think I was probably about 21, 22 at the time, and I went down to see them for a few hours while they were on holiday, and that's where they were having dinner. That's my dad's, a big favourite of mine as well, tomato soup. Dad liked the tomato soup. That's my dad there. He's good looking, isn't he? And there's my beautiful mum. And she would always have a salad and a roll, always a roll, crusty roll and butter. Crusty roll and butter. Good morning, Maureen. Morning to Maureen today. Talking of parcels, a little bit of bad news. I don't know if our friend in Florida is watching today. Oh, his name's gone from me. Our friend in Florida, he's just joined the show. They should have picked up his parcel yesterday, and it's still sitting outside the front door. So, not quite sure what's going on there. I hope that it gets picked up today. But Hermes was supposed to pick that up, and no one's turned up yet. So hopefully they will pick that up today, just to let you know what's going on there. All right. What were we going to do now? Sean. There we go. Sean. Here we go. Bad news, Sean. Greggs has scrapped plans to reopen 20 stores after realising how excited everyone was. We do like it. I like the Greggs stuff. The vegan sausage rolls and the vegan pasties are beautiful. And then they do the cups of tomato soup, don't they? It's really good value. And it's not... Has anyone ever been to a Greggs and felt ripped off? No. A little square cake with that pink icing off. Tottenham cake, isn't it called Tottenham cake? Beautiful. Their cakes, all the stuff in Greggs. It's such good value. I never, ever feel ripped off in Greggs. Starbucks is a different story altogether. Every time I buy anything in Starbucks, I think I feel ripped off. I do. £2.50 for a slice of cake? Please. It's not right. How do they get away with that? I tell you how they get away with it. Idiots go in there and buy the blooming stuff. You want a sandwich, like £4 for a sandwich, or a cheese and onion toasty. Did I say good morning to Maureen? Morning, Maureen. Do like a cheese and onion toasty, but I'm not paying like £6 or £7 for a, what are they called? Panini. Oh, why do they call it a panini? It's just a cheese and onion toasty with different bread. Panini. Well, Jason. The nation's favourite baker is still planning a comeback, but trials will now happen behind closed doors after it realised how excited people had become with the prospect of reopening. Now, Greggs, there is a good story, a success story there, because they know what they're doing and they don't rip people off. You go in there, you can sit there with a cup of tea, a cake and some sort of pasty or sausage roll, or 2 sausage rolls if you want, for about £3 or £4. Absolute good value for money. I've never ever felt ripped off going into Greggs. Starbucks, no. Rip-off merchants. What's the large tea in Starbucks? Something like £2.40 for a cup of tea, please. And they use plastic tea bags. Oh, well, they're good for the environment, aren't they? Who ever decided to bring plastic tea bags out? Oh, it makes it taste better. Don't taste any different. Ridiculous. Plastic tea bags. There they are, swimming around in the ocean. I don't suppose the dolphins are interested in eating your old tea bags, are they? Or what about those, Rachel, for my eyes? Tea bags. Would that do the same as cucumbers? Oh, hang on, Rachel's already got a job, hasn't she? I was just going to give you another job then, Rachel. No, you've already got a job. TikTok Queen. TikTok Queen. Well, the first Greggs stores were set to reopen on Monday as the chain looked to getting sausage rolls and steak bakes back on our streets again. But the chain has decided to change its plans to get 20 stores in the Newcastle area operating again after seeing how excited people were at the prospect. Due to significant... I've never been to Yes, I have been to Newcastle. Is it Whitley Bay? I had a friend moved up there with his mother. Yeah, a long time ago, 20 odd years ago now. Whitley Bay I've been in Newcastle. You have to go through this tunnel. It's very scary. A little lot. You wait, because the tunnel is one lane. It's quite long. And you wait, it's a queue of you. And then a little van comes and pulls in front of you when it's time to go. And it says, follow me. And you have to follow this van through the tunnel. What an experience. It says, due to significant interest in our 20-shop trial and the risk that excessive numbers of customers may plan to visit Greggs, we will now initially operate these trials behind closed doors in order to effectively test our new operational safety measures. It was never our intention to attract high levels of customers to these trial shops, and therefore we have decided to temporarily update our test plans and operate behind closed doors only. We will continue to review this as we undertake our initial tests and invite walk-in customers into our shops only when we can be confident of doing so in the controlled manner that we intended to do. So that's a shame, isn't it? I don't know what they're going to do there. How they can do? Oh, do you remember, what are those biscuits with the heart jam in it? You know, it's like a biscuit, and it's like a bit has been indented into the biscuit, and it's got a heart in the shape in jam in the shape of a heart. Oh, delicious! We like Greggs. It says there's no word as yet whether the delay in opening the first stores will significantly affect a target. I don't know what the target is. Oh, I've jumped forward too far. Anyway, but that's the main part of the story. That's the bit that you need to know. It's not happening. Sorry, Jason. No Greg's. You can get Greg's stuff from Iceland. Did you know that? Iceland now do Greg's stuff. Seriously, you just take the frozen, literally labelled Greg's. So Greg's sausage rolls and things like that. You can get them from Iceland as frozen items and cook them yourself. If you've got a fan oven, I would imagine tastes exactly the same. So that's quite a nice thing, isn't it? Perhaps order something from Iceland there. Let's have a look. Peter Paliwoda. Nostalgia Chris. Yes, indeed. Pontins. We liked Pontins. I liked Pontins. Mick says just go to Iceland, cook your own. There you go. Mick's seen them as well. What are you going to do, Jason? Oh, he's so unhappy. Oh, my God. I think we're going to see a suicide today. Can you film that for us and send it through before you die? Or if you could film your suicide, please, Jason, and then send it over, then I could show it and advertise it. Oh, the numbers would increase dramatically. I might even get a payment from YouTube then if I'm lucky. Will that ever happen? Oh, dear. Do you know there's some YouTubers, they're on millions of pounds a month. I kid you not. There's a little Chinese kid. I beg your pardon. A little Japanese kid. His name is Ryan. And all he does, I mean, his parents are as mad as hatters. All he does is open boxes with toys. And he's been going for some time now. He's got millions. All the little kids watch him. My great nieces and nephews, they love him. And they watch the same time and time again. And I'm thinking that little kid's getting richer and richer because my great niece and nephews are watching you. And he's been going for some time now. He's even got his own branded stuff out now. So you can buy, I don't know, a pencil case with a picture of Ryan on it, from the local toy shop. Millions of pounds. Even my brother-in-law, he makes not a very rich living, but he makes a bit of a living off his videos. Me? Well, I'm still waiting for the second cheque. I did get one once, £60. That was after doing this for about 8 years. If you're young and pretty, you actually don't even need to talk. You just put your face up there and look at the screen. And then millions of people look at you. And you get cheques for thousands of pounds. Me, 60 quid in a space of about 8 years. Never mind, it might happen, mightn't it? Parkness police forces up and down the country will be disappointed. Mandy makes a wholemeal bread pudding for £4. There you go. Get your orders into Mandy. Mandy's kitchen is open. She does do extras as well if you're interested, And she put the outfit on as well. That won't be cheap though. She's got the outfit. John Paris, on principle, we never use Starbucks. There you go. I've got to be desperate to go into Starbucks, to be honest, John. Really, I've got to be really dry. If I'm in America, I go to Starbucks simply because they seem to know how to make a cup of tea. Unlike most of I'm sorry if you're an American, but you can't make tea. Or at least you make it as you like it, not as I like it or we like it, so to speak. But Starbucks do seem to be able to do that. And that's the only time. Very, very rarely do I go into Starbucks with the amount they charge there. Jason's already got his invite from Greg's for being the most loyal customer. The festive bakes will be out, says Mick. Yeah, I hope so. Rachel, tea bags on eyes would work. I might try that one then. Oh no, I've only got tea leaves, Rachel. Oh yes, dear. We do the tea properly in this house. There's no tea bags swimming around in a cup to be fished out. No. Spoon in a... Tea is made properly in this house, I love you. No, thank you very much. Out comes my sort of goldfish type teapot. Put the tea leaves in a little holder thing. Put them and boil on the boiling water. And it must be boiling. None of this warm water like to get in some restaurants. Even here. Even over here. Shocking. The worst one I got was in Leeds. We went in this, this like chain restaurant. I don't know what it was. A 2-for-1 place. And I asked for a cup of tea. And this cow she brought over a cup, a teacup and a saucer with hot water in it and a tea bag sitting on the side. I said, what's that? She said, you asked for tea. I said, well, that's not how you make it. Well, that's how we serve it. I said, well, that's incorrect. I don't want that. Oh, well, how do you make it? I said, you have the boiling water pouring on it. As soon as you turn that kettle off, if the little bubbles stop, you've left it too long. It's got to still be bubbling when you pour it over. God dear. Nearly walked out and left the meal. Can't even make a cup of tea. You know how to make tea. All right, I know tea bags, they're so easy. But even with a tea bag, you put the tea bag in the cup, on goes the kettle. When the water is boiling, i.e. there's a little whistle going off, people without asthma can actually hold that note longer. Did you know that? I haven't blown in my thing recently, you know that, and it gives you a little reading. I haven't blown in that for ages. Anyway, yeah, you've either got to wait until the kettle is screaming at you. I can't do a large scream because I've got a naturally deep masculine voice, so I can't do the scream, I'm afraid. Or it's bubbling away, or you know the little automatic button on an electric kettle, it goes click. At that point, it's time to put the water on. When the button has clicked off, not 10 seconds after it's clicked off, you wait for that button. You stand there patiently, waiting for the little button to click, and then you quickly grab the kettle and pour the boiling water while the steam is coming up and the bubbles are coming up still in the kettle on your little tea bag, or if you're doing it properly like me, on your tea leaves that are patiently waiting for you in that little teapot. And that, my dears, is how you make a cup of tea. Not with warm water or even hot water or even very hot water and a tea bag on the side for you to put in. It will taste completely different and actually is vile. So many other restaurants do that. So many other restaurants, they bring you up this cup of warm water. Oh, we can't use boiling water because it's the health and safety people. Whoa, take the tea back then. I don't want it. Go away. Awful. Awful. No idea how to make tea, some people do. Fun things to do with tech. Still uses a teapot every day. Excellent. Most of my tea is in a teapot. I have some tea bags. Now and again, can't be bothered to do that. I'll have a tea bag. Very rarely, though. Very rarely. Parkness, nothing wrong with tea bags, but the water must be boiling. There you go. We all agree on this, don't we? We all agree on this. What's Jason doing there? Something about, he's got bacon, egg and sausage. Oh, God, he's eating dead animals again, Jason Hughes. Ah, Lord. Ryanair. We've had some terrible news from British Airways. It's Ryanair now as well. Ryanair has warned today it expects to cut up to 3,000 jobs as part of restructuring plans, while passengers may be forced to wear face masks on future flights. I've heard various different stories about what the planes intend to do. Some are putting plastic screens between the seats, and some are removing one of the seats so you don't have to sit next to each other. I think if you're on a plane, you're on a plane. It makes no difference to me to people whether you're going to be sitting with no piece of plastic there. I think it's a very, very limited use, a piece of plastic in between two people, or even a gap between two people. They're still there. You're still breathing and expelling the same air as them on a plane. I won't be getting on a plane anytime in the near future. I'm telling you that now. Ryanair has been forced to ground 99% of its fleet of aircraft due to this virus thing at the moment. They're running 1% of their services. One. Wow. They say they expect to start the restructuring job losses in July. Could include up to 3,000 pilot and cabin jobs being axed, as well as unpaid leave and pay cuts of up to 20%. Now, I've never been a fan of Ryanair. I went on them once. I hated it. I absolutely hated it. Shoved on there, the cabin crew were okay. Some old bag on the desk. Oh, she was horrible, she was. And no, I think it was twice actually I went on there. I would never go on there. That being said, I don't wish for this for anyone to happen to anyone. You know, job loss plan will be subject to consultation first, so no doubt someone will have a few rows with unions and that. The other airlines, British Airways has suspended all routes from London Gatwick and London City airports and has moved all operations to Terminal 5 at London Heathrow. Airline currently operating just 10% of its usual flights. They're preparing to cut 12,000 jobs from the airline's 42,000 jobs. Pilot roles could be included. EasyJet has grounded its entire fleet. All flights cancelled. EasyJet is not operating. End of. Nothing going. The airline hasn't said when it will start flying again, but its staff are currently being given a 2-month leave of absence, meaning the measures will last at least until June. Flybe, that collapsed. I mean, they must have been just ticking over to collapse so quickly like that. And I think some of those lower priced airlines are. I do think they just tick over some of them, just make just a little bit of money to be able to keep going. Well, Flybe couldn't cope. They died on March the 5th. They've been losing money for several months, so if you're already in that position, it can only get worse, aren't they? Jet2, they've cancelled all flights and holiday packages at least until June the 17th. They're expected to start flying again in the middle of June. I can't see it somehow. So many. Ryanair, we've done that one. Ryanair, I told you. TUI, all package holidays and cruises suspended. Nothing happening. All trips cancelled at least until June the 11th. Virgin Atlantic suspended all flights. Again, no planes flying. No word when it'll start flying again. He's in trouble. He's in trouble, Richard Branson. Now, of course, we've seen the stories in the paper of Richard Branson trying to get a government bailout, this, that and the other. And as understandably, quite understandably, people say, oh, why doesn't he sell his island or spend some of his money doing that? You see, we don't know the actual figures. Now, it's a bit like someone living in a really big posh house with a really good job getting loads of money. But you don't know if that person has got a massive mortgage on that house. Let's just take a figure out of the sky, right? I don't know. Say this house they are living in is worth £10 million, right? Say they get, what's a really fantastic wage? Say they get £30,000 a month, right? The mortgage might be £27,000 a month. So do you see what I mean there? Do you see what I mean? So on the outside of things, you can see this big house and the people living there. You forget that they probably got a mortgage on there, which is very high. And if the money stops coming in, they can't pay the mortgage. Doesn't matter whether you're living in a little grotty little flat in, I don't know, Bradford, which has cost you £20,000, or a £10 million house in the heart of Berkshire or Surrey. This is the sort of place that Claire lives in. She lives in a very, very large mansion with grounds and horses roaming, little wildlife everywhere. Takes you 3 hours to get down her drive. But Claire doesn't, of course, have a mortgage. You know, she owns that outright. She's fine. But some people will have that £10 million mortgage and have no longer got the money to pay. So they're in the same situation as the person that owns the £20,000 flat in Bradford that also can't afford to pay. Maybe it's like that for the Virgin Atlantic. We don't know the whole story. Maybe the airline just ticks over, but it costs X amount of money to run. And if Richard Branson was to sell his island, that may not actually mean that they can go for much longer, even with all that money they put in. You don't know how much it costs to run Virgin Atlantic, do you? And his what we would class, you and I would class, as enormous wealth might actually not make much of a dent into his airline in the grand scheme of keeping things running. Money has to be coming in so that they can run. See? We don't know. We don't know. I know he's asked for a government bailout, and I, probably like you, are not too keen on that idea. But is it a fact that if he sold everything he's got, he might be able to run for another couple of months, but then he would still close down anyway? We don't know how much these things cost. We're not airline people, are we? Another one here, Wizz Air has grounded the majority of its flights with limited routes to Hungary, Bulgaria and Poland, but the airline today resumed sun routes to London. So Michael Leary's on the telly as well. He's warned the low-budget carrier won't fly if it's required to keep the middle seat empty. I mean, he's just arrogant. He is, that Michael O'Leary, isn't he? I mean, I find him quite funny. I'll probably be all right in a pub with him, having a Coca-Cola while he's drinking his pints of lager or Guinness and getting drunk with him. I'm sure he's all right. But as a businessman, he seems to know what he's doing, doesn't he? Let's see what you say on there. Short flights are a nightmare, says Park Nest. Dan works for an airline. It's very uncertain times. Yes, because of course, apart from the airlines themselves, there's all the little things that go on around. You know, the people that clean the planes, and then the airports. The airports are only there because the planes pay them so that they can land there. Well, if there's no planes landing, hello? The baggage handlers, the people that work in all the little shops, the restaurant people in there, the people that clean the airport, the toilet attendants, the security staff, you know, the passport people, all these people forget that. It's not just the people that work on EasyJet. It's all the other people that service you and me on the way to get on that plane. The petrol station outside the airport where everyone fills up when they park their cars. The people that own the outrageously expensive car parks that are dotted all round airports. Not just the ones in the airports. You know, the ones where you get a little bus and it takes you, like a pink bus from Luton, I think it is, and places like that. You know, people own these spaces outside. Well, there's no money coming in. You don't think about all that, do you? I think there's one group of people that will probably be quite happy about what's going on with the airlines, and they are the people who own the houses that can be knocked down for the third runway. Who's going to need a third runway now? Even if all this stopped tomorrow, right? You don't think that everyone's, oh, let's go on a plane now. I won't get on one. You're having a laugh, aren't you? You can put as much plastic screen in it, and I'm certainly not going to sit on a plane all that time with a blooming mask on my face. It's bad enough now having to put my little Union Jack thing on when I go into the shop for like 5 minutes. I'm certainly not going to sit on a plane for like, I don't know, 1 hour, 10 hours, 24 hours with a mask on it like that. Oh, no, thank you. Absolutely not. I don't know how they're going to deal with that. Especially like the long flights to the beautiful countries like Australia and, well, I've been so many times. I would like to have visited Thailand. Probably not Bangkok, you know, the quiet places where there's, you can get a lovely place and they have their own little swimming pools. My mate went with his other half some years ago. I think it was Thailand or maybe Bali, somewhere like that. Thailand's, you know, where you've got that little private swimming pool and all that. I'd like to go somewhere like that. I'm not sitting on a plane for 10 hours with a mask on. God, do my head in. It's bad enough now. Awful. But who's going to need a third runway? I bet the people, you know, living in those houses that have to be sold and knocked down to make a third runway, I bet they're throwing parties in the street now. Although I'm sure they're keeping more than 2 metres away from each other. So many things are involved in flying, not just the plane there. Frightening, really. Fun things to do with tech. If I had insomnia all my life, okay, what's that's something to do with oh, you're talking to each other there. I beg your pardon. Sorry, I'm coming in on a conversation there. That you're talking to each other, aren't you? Where are we now? Peter, nothing wrong with Bradford. Who said there was? Who said there was something wrong with Bradford? Are you watching the same show, Peter? Please pay full attention to the show, dear, rather than just hearing what you want to hear. I never said there's anything wrong with Bradford. Pay full attention to the show, dear. John Parrish, you'll find all this lockdown is over. Buffets in hotels, cruises will be a thing of the past. I think you're right, John. I can't see us going back to what we had. That's the scary thing, really. I suppose at some point we'll get used to it. I like the quietness at the moment. I do like the quietness. I can't lie to you. I am missing seeing family, but we have to get used to a new way of life. I don't think we're going to go back to what we had. I really don't. I really don't. Did you see the fun things to do with tech? Did you see the story about Richard Branson about 2 weeks ago on ITV News and what he had, and he's not putting any more investment in it? It's his own money. He's on the richest list, top 20. Yeah, well, as I say, he may well be on the richest list 20. But even with all that money, with a business like Virgin Airline, if he was to spend all that money, would that make much difference to the running of the airline? We don't know figures, do we? We don't. We don't do figures. Peter, are you gonna? You want me to film you topping yourself? Oh, well, I can't really. We can't get close contact. But if you do, could just send in the video or get someone to send in the video after you're dead, and I can show that and we can advertise it and get a few bit more cash in, please. Thank you very much. John, they're talking about fitting bubble type things on each seat of the planes. Saw those as well, John. Like that comes over like that. But what about the gaps underneath? See, I won't get on a plane. I won't get a plane. Right, what else have we got here? Here's an idea. Fantastic. I know I love like technology stories that do stuff rather than computer games. Residents on a small island off the coast of Belize have begun harvesting fresh drinking water from the air after shipments from the mainland were delayed due to the virus. The residents of Ke Kalka Island, 20 miles off the coast of Belize City, are using 23 solar-powered hydro panels from zero mass water to convert moisture in the air into potable water. Isn't that great? The hydro panels are a similar set of principles as dehumidifiers to harvest water, drawing in air into a compartment with fans where it's heated by the solar panels to convert the water molecules into steam. The steam is then passed through a special hygroscopic material that channels it into a collection reservoir when it's cooled into liquid water, according to a report. The panels were initially installed on the roof of the local Roman Catholic school and community centre in late 2019 as part of the Caribbean Climate Smart Island programme and funded in part by the Inter-American Development Bank. Isn't that great? I love those sort of stories where they've used technology to do stuff like that. And sometimes you see, you just take for granted that I can come in here and turn things on and start talking to you. Any time of the day or night if I decide to do so, you know, and if you want it to happen, I can do that. Sometimes you see these news stories about, I don't know, people that have gone out to places with no electricity, you know, and they live by the sun. When the sun comes out, they all go to work. When it goes down, they all go to bed. And then someone goes out there, perhaps with a very simple solar panel. I've got a one spare large solar panel downstairs. I just took it off the tree a few weeks ago now. So that's, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I'm trying to think of something to do with it, really. I quite like doing electrical things like, you've got to be careful with solar panels. You know, you've got a couple of wires attached to them. You can half get a jolt off them. I'm telling you that now. Be very careful when you're attaching wires to larger solar panels. I think this is 65 watt, this one. And someone to go out to India or perhaps Africa, somewhere like that, where they've got no electricity, with a small solar panel and some sort of battery and a light bulb. Just one. A light bulb on a holder. And they go in perhaps to someone who's got a little shop there or a house, whatever. They put the solar panel up there and perhaps sometimes on the ground. And they attach the battery and a light. And then people are just amazed at how they've got this light on now that they can use at night time. And we take it all for granted, don't we? Sean, Lisa's one thing about this virus going around, it's the only thing I've got from China that hasn't broken within a week. How about a haunted house? Do you want a haunted house? One more story, then we're going to do the raffle tickets, gang. A home's up for grabs in the Daily Mirror. It's completely free of charge. It's in Louisiana, US. And it looks like a proper American house. The sort of thing you'd see on the Waltons. Or Anne with an E. That's finished now, Anne with an E. There's going to be no more Anne with an E's, unfortunately. Yes, indeed. Looks lovely. The owners of a home compared to the Amityville horror house are struggling to give it away for free as locals spread stories about it for being... Where's my blooming thing? For being haunted. Evilness. 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 Is my echo working? Why isn't my echo working today? Oh, what am I doing? Oh, hang on. There it is. Evil. Is that working? No. I've got no echo. That's strange. My echo's not working, is it? Or is it working? Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. Echo. Oh, hang on. I've got the mute button down. I think I've got the mute button on there. Does that work? Hello? Hello? Oh. Oh, yeah, hang on a minute. Just a minute. I've got two buttons pressed again. Shall we try it again? It's a very scary house, boys and girls. Yes. Be afraid. Haunted house. Yeah, be afraid. The owners of a home compared to the Amityville house horror are struggling to give it away. It's been built in the 1930s in Louisiana, US, and has gained a spooky reputation, meaning no one has dared to move in despite not having to spend a penny to make it theirs. One former resident claims the house is haunted by a great-grandmother who is well known to stir cooking left unattended in the kitchen and move the pots around. I'd like to stay there. I like ghosts. I quite like ghosts. If I think there's a ghost or a spirit somewhere, I will attempt to talk to it. Yeah, absolutely. It says it appears potential suitors were put off by a flood of comments below from ex-residents and visitors who reported the creepy goings-on they claim to have experienced. They can't even give the house away. Would you stay in a haunted house? Hey, Andy, Woody loves the paranormal, don't you, Andy? Yeah, me too. Me too. Dear. LaBelle lived in Amityville, Long Island, 25 minutes walk from it. The house is not haunted. It never was. Oh, there you go. Well, it's in the Daily Mirror this morning. Yes. Rachel would love to stay in a haunted house. Right, shall we do the raffle tickets, gang? Who wants a raffle ticket for Monday's show? Monday is raffle time. Now, remember, gang, very, very important. Write down your raffle ticket numbers. On Monday, from Monday, we will be doing the raffle as usual, but only telling you what the numbers is, but not the name on the back of the ticket. Okay? It will be up to you to claim. That's added excitement. Adding excitement. So here we go. Andy 550. Andy, the BBC Lincolnshire pen has found once again. Let's use this one. Look at this. Yeah, LaBelle, this is something LaBelle would have. All sparkly, isn't it? Andy 550. Where are we now? 550. Tony King 551. David Fryer 552. John Aitken, 553. Peter Wright, 554. Mari Lowe, 555. Scrolling up for you now, boys and girls. One moment, please. There's Mari. Jason Hughes, 556. Diane Jebb, 557. Mandy, 558. Michael Lawrence, 559. Fran, 560. Mick Davenport, 561. Sprintervan, 562. Scrolling. Rachel, 563. Adam, 564. Have you got to work yet, Adam? I'm surprised you're still there. Adam the plumber. 564 for you. 565 for Sean Pye. Colin Coates, 566. Peter Palawoda, 567. Where are you, Peter, by the way? What part of the country are you in? Are you in the Midlands? Ross Herndon, 568. Anyone else, please? Speak now. If you want a raffle ticket, speak now, my darlings. All right. There might be a couple of emails in there from people who are asking for raffle tickets as well. Yeah, okay, I've got those. Thank you, Russ. I've got an email from you there as well, Russ, with some pictures of you. If I've missed anyone out, please speak now, my darlings. Meanwhile, I'll do today's birthdays for you. We've got, how many birthdays today? We've got 7 birthdays today, I think, gang. 7? Well, sometimes you get, like, some people have got, like, I don't know why several of people have got, like, several profiles for some reason. So here we go. Happy birthday today to Mark Borden. Mark's often here with us. He's not here this morning, so happy birthday to you, Mark. Happy birthday to Alleb, who's 33 years old today. Happy birthday, Alleb. Justin Peacock, who runs a pub in Hemel Hempstead, the steam coach in Boxmoor. Nice little place. Happy birthday to you, Justin. Michael A. Allen, good morning. Happy birthday, Michael. Michael James Brendan Smith is 31 years old today. Kylie Zass, that's a great name, Kylie Zass. Happy birthday today. And Janaina Santos today is 35 years old. Happy birthday, boys and girls. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Twice, coronavirus. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Yeah. Happy birthday, boys and girls. Did I see Claire pop up there asking for a raffle ticket? 571 for you, Claire. There we are. Claire L. 571. Little raffle ticket there for Claire. Anyone else have I missed? Is that it? Claire, just Claire. Let me have a little scroll up there. LaBelle still lives in Amityville. The people who live there are just wonderful people, but there's signs of no loitering all around. A beautiful house right on the water. Is that so? Do you know, I think it's somewhere where I'd like to live, to be honest, LaBelle. You could pop round. How lovely would that be? We could just sit there and bitch about people all day. How marvellous. Burger King are giving away free Whoppers, boys and girls, to people who share their worst coronavirus foodie fouls. That's in the Daily Mail today. They are aware that the lockdown has transformed us British people into cooking maniacs, and it wants people to share their worst kitchen fouls. Go on their Twitter and you'll find out all about that, and you could get yourself a free Whopper. And let's be honest, girls, We all like a big one, don't we? Ow! It's not about the size. Really? I suppose not. Oh, it's Gary Butler. He's sitting there all quietly today, aren't you, Gary? Thanks very much for joining us on the show on this Friday morning. A pleasure to talk to you, as always, gang. Don't forget, if you want to send anything in, send it through Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. A photo, anything like that you want read out, send it in and I'll look at it and read it out on the show. Enjoy your Friday. Thanks very much for watching and listening. Cheerio now.